Teacher Ida Nabukenya at your service. Dear viewers, hope you're having a good time. Today we want to continue with family life in the present situation. In our previous discussion, we looked at the characteristics of our families today, and we also discussed the reasons why most of our families are headed by women. But today, let us look at the problems, the challenges that face families today. Look at your family, dear learner, where you are. Look at the family of your neighbor. Look at the auntie and uncle's family. Then you'll see that most of the problems we are discussing may be in one of those families. Or you may find that we have left out something we have not discussed. Write it down and you add on what we are going to discuss today. Okay, let us begin with the first point which is facing our families today, and that is the high cases of indiscipline by the children. This has been brought about by the busy schedules or the busy careers that parents are engaged in, having no time for their children. And this has made our children, boys and girls, to get involved in either drug abuse, in fornication, in stealing, in murdering people, name it, the list is endless. The other challenge that families are facing today is domestic violence. And this takes the form of fights, quarrels, and beatings. You might find that it is daddy or the husband beating the wife, or in some families, it is the wife beating the man. Or you might find that the in laws are torturing either the man or the wife. And all these are happening today. There is a lot of poverty among the family members, leading to lack of basic needs in terms of food, accommodation, medical care, clothing. You find that most of the parents cannot provide these basic needs maximally to their family members. Hence, a challenge or a problem. There is sexual unfaithfulness among family members, and this takes the form of adultery and incest. This is very common because partners are so busy pursuing their careers, and you find that one of them is not satisfied. You also find that close relatives go ahead to have sex with their brothers or sisters' children. And this is a common characteristics where, dear learners, you need not to trust any person, whether it is your brother, your uncle, your aunt, because anything can happen when mommy and daddy are not at home. There is lack of respect between the partners due to education differences, and it has become worse when the wife is the one who is most educated, and this has cropped in domestic violence and divorce. Competition among the extended family members. For example, in these families where the husband has more than one wife, each wife is fighting for survival to get the basic needs for her children, and this has brought in also witchcraft, where the one of the wives is bewitching the man to say that she is the favorite plus her children. These problems are in our families today. Barrenness or sterility causes conflicts where one partner fails to produce, and hence leading to unfaithfulness. The unfaithfulness is very common with the men. If the wife fails to produce children for him, he will go outside, hence involving himself in adultery, which has brought a lot of challenges to the family members. Lack of land also causes instability, where the woman sees no future with the man she got married to in the family, so she ends up going away. There is parental negligence, where children are left to tend for themselves. Children are abandoned. And most of them, we are seeing them in the streets of Kampala, the streets of Masaka. Look at those towns and cities. Most of those children were abandoned, were neglected by their children, by their parents, and then they ended up on the streets. The sexual dissatisfaction among partners has led to marital unfaithfulness, the most common one, which is adultery, because either the husband is not satisfying the woman sexually, or it is the woman not satisfying the man sexually, so they end up going outside to get partners who will satisfy them sexually. The political differences between partners has caused division basing on political parties. We have our common example in Uganda, which happened between Salam Musumba, the former MP, and then we have Mr. Musumba. These people separated because Mrs. Musumba, Salam, decided to go FDC, and yet Mr. Musumba was NRM supporter. Having said all that, like, we have been encouraging ourselves to read more and more, and then we add on. So please, also on the problems facing our families, let us add on. At least 3 points will do us well. Now let us look at how the church is helping families with problems. Our churches, we don't mind whether it is the Catholic Church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Anglican Church, the Orthodox Church, the born-again churches. What are these churches doing? Read that question and how the church is. So when you're answering, the tense of this question matters. They can ask you, how is the church helping families? So we shall qualify, the church is. But if the question was, how has the church? Our tense will be, the church has. Now let us go back to our question. How is the church helping families with problems? 1, the church is providing employment opportunities to family members. For example, teachers, we have doctors, accountants in the banks, and this is helping them to get money to take care of their families. The church is providing health services at affordable prices. When you go to Lubaga Hospital, you'll find that the churches, for seeing a doctor, it is either 10,000 for the children and 12,000 for the adults. It is affordable. The church is donating drugs to AIDS patients. The best hospital I know is Lubaga Hospital. You find there mothers, fathers, children who have come to get ARVs for HIV disease. The church is preaching equality of all people in the sermons given during worship, during mass, during open air preachings. And all this, it is to show that man and woman should live together in peace, and family members too. The church is providing education services. We have so many schools that are started by the church. We have another point. Through protecting marriage relationships, the church is encouraging faithfulness, love between partners. The church is also encouraging respect among the partners. Here, dear viewers, I'm changing the way I'm writing my points through, because our question says, how is the church? So the qualifier is through, is either you use through or by. And don't forget, we said that when you're qualifying our points in CRE, you have to state in the opening statement the qualifier you're going to use, and you must stick to it. It has to be only one, do not interchange them. Then, through providing homes for the disadvantaged family members, we have Watoto Children's Home by the Watoto churches, we have Sanyu Babies Home by the Anglican Church. All this, we even have the Bakateyamba Home in Nalukolongo there. All these are managed by the church. Through providing basic needs like education, food, accommodation, the church is doing this through donations to see that the members of the family are living a good life. So you'll add on. Don't forget that question, how is the church helping families with problems, is qualified by either using through or by. And I still insist you choose and use only one qualifier. Don't say, but when I use through, it becomes monotonous. That issue will not arise because this is what UNEB wants. Per this subject of Christian living today, now I want to give you this assignment, and please do it with examples. Explain the role of the church in uplifting families in Uganda today. The question is saying with examples. So all the points that you're going to raise, you must accompany them with an example, a national or international example. Don't give us those two local examples that my neighbor who owns a church, those ones will not happen. For more information, you can visit our website and even the e-library to add on what you have. Please do these assignments in that book where you do your assignments. Bye for now. I'm Teacher Ida Nabukenya. May the good Lord continue blessing us.